Oh yes, Deep Divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. How are you enjoying this superhero music, Deep Divers? Give thanks, Deep Divers, give thanks. Oh, we're in the movies right now. We're in the movies right now, Deep Divers. We're gonna have a great show. Oh yes, shout out to everyone who's here. Once again, we're just warming up, Deep Divers. I hope your day is going good. I hope everyone's day is going good. How you doing today, Deep Divers? We're back for another episode. We got a whole lot to talk about.
Credits received.
We got a whole lot to talk about, Deep Divers. And it's kind of cool just to do a live stream without any notice. That's how we roll, Deep Divers. We just do a live stream without any notice. Let me give thanks right now to everyone who's here. To everyone who's diving deep. You are truly appreciated. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. Once again, make sure that you check out the book Deep Divers Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the-book. Make sure you do that right away. Shout out to everyone who's here, Deep Divers. So many beautiful Deep Divers here. So many wonderful Deep Divers diving deep. So we got a lot to talk about. Deep Divers. Let me say a shout out to Beats by North Star. Where'd you get your dentist from? Shout out Beats by North Star. So we're gonna give thanks, Deep Divers. We're gonna start with gratitude. Let me give you some motivation. If you are on this live stream, you are not here by accident. You are here because you know something. You are here because you know there's more. You are here because your third eye is open. You are here because you are the only woke one in your family. You are here because you know we're in spiritual warfare. You are here because you've stopped drinking the Kool-Aid. You are here because you love to breathe in that good ass prana, baby. That's why you're here. That is the reason why you're here. So I want to say shout out to you. Because you are not here by accident. And if you've ever seen one of my videos, that video came to you for a reason, Deep Divers. Not an accident. It came to you for a reason. So much is happening. Let me shout out to... I got to give a shout out to Love Frequency. I got to give a shout out to Beats by North Star. Hey, Ralph, quick question. What do you do for the dentist? Do you go or just natural? Clean your teeth with coconut oil or natural cleanse mixes? What do you think, Deep Divers? Do you think I get teeth whitening? Absolutely not. All natural, right? All natural. I'm going to do a whole video on teeth. First and foremost, let me shout out to everyone who's here. Once again, make sure you check out that book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the-book. let's start with thanks. Once again, what did I write down on my Instagram? And make sure you add me on Instagram, Deep Divers, at Ralph Smart, at Ralph Smart. I said, may something that you've been praying for come your way. I hope you started out with an affirmation today. I hope you started out raising the frequency. Melissa, you are appreciated. Peace on earth and within. And this is an interactive show, Deep Divers. Like Melissa, give thanks. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We're just warming up, Deep Divers. Make sure you smash that like button and give thanks. Check out also the Good Ass Prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America.
Another year of support. You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Matcha, you are appreciated. Give thanks. Give thanks. What are we doing, Deep Divers? Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. What are we doing? Raising the frequency. Let's start with that, okay? Shout out to everyone who's in the chat. I see you. Make sure you smash that like button, Deep Divers, because we got a lot to talk about. It's about to get real. Now, I hate to be the one who said I told you so, but I told you so. What did Ralph Smart tell you? Because a lot is happening on the planet right now, and I hope that you are awake and aware. Once again, everyone who is here for a reason. If you've been watching my videos, that's because you are on your own awakening journey. And you're starting to realize that a lot of crazy shit is happening on the planet. You're starting to realize the world is changing very rapidly. I want you to prepare yourself mentally for what's coming, Deep Divers. Make sure you prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. So let's talk a bit about it. Let's talk a bit about it, right? So this picture I have right here is, well, you can tell me what this is, right? Is it Halloween? It might be, right? But this is a great artwork, great piece of art, really depicting what's happening on the planet. Great artist who has painted this, sent this to me. And they're like, Ralph, you got to show this picture. So that's what I'm doing. You are appreciated. But this picture speaks volumes, right? It speaks volumes to what's actually happening on the planet. And so much is happening. I told you, we are in the apocalypse, which is the lifting of the veil. Let me shout out to Salmi, you are appreciated. Salmi, you are most definitely appreciated. So when we talk of the apocalypse, we're really talking about the lifting of the veil. And the veil is lifting. The veil is absolutely lifting. We're going to talk about it. Why I real poor when I have lots of money. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. So I spoke about, in previous videos, I've spoken about the great disconnection that's happening on the planet. Many people are becoming disconnected from who they truly are. And many people are also desensitized. And if you are an empath right now, congratulations. If you are someone who can pick up the energy, who can feel the energy, congratulations. Because you have a heads up on everything that's happening. Like I told you, I just did a video on anger. And a lot of people are angry right now with everything that's happening. A lot of people are fed up with everything that's happening. And I want to remind you, everything that you see happening has to happen for a reason. Everything that you see happening has to happen for a reason. This is humanity's greatest wake-up call ever. You see, I told you, if you do not fight for what you want, you will have time to cry for what you lost. Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. If you do not fight for what you want, you will have time to cry for what you have lost. Many people are now starting to realize everything Ralph Smart was talking about is coming true. How did he know? In 2019, everything that is unfolding right now would unfold back then. Well, that's what happens when you're tapped in and tuned in. You can see things before they happen. And I did give you a warning about what was coming. And now I'm giving you another warning to prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. As you already know, in the States, the US government are doing door-to-door knocking on people's door to say, hey, you got the shots, right? I told you. Because you better prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. We're going to talk about that. But first and foremost, let me shout out to everyone who's here. Make sure you are appreciated. Make sure you smash the like button, deep divers. Smash the like button and give thanks. Smash the like button and make sure you give thanks. You see, I'm giving thanks every single day. And that's why I started this live stream to say, if you are watching this right now, this is your confirmation. You're going to be all right and everything is going to work in your favor. But you have to say thank you. I'm grateful every single day, deep divers, right? That's why I'm living my best life. And I want to remind you, because I'm naturally calm, but with the way things are on the planet, even me, sometimes I can get frustrated at what's happening because I can see the chess pieces that are being moved and that a lot of people are not seeing what's going to happen, what's around the corner. That's why I've been telling you for years, everything that's unfolding. Now you're starting to realize, oh my gosh, Ralph Smart was right. And not just Ralph Smart, other people are warning you. Shout out to the 144,000. Shout out to the chosen ones. A lot of people have left. A lot of people have left YouTube. A lot of people have left the internet because they already knew what was coming. And this is why you've seen that a lot of these tech companies, they're censoring people. They even deleted one of my videos. This is all because we're in the final end game, and it's all because they want to bury the truth, but it's not going to happen. But I do want to make sure you are preparing yourself mentally.
You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time. Thank you.
You are appreciated. Thank you. Let me shout out to Chauncey, because I'm giving thanks, deep divers. That's what this show is all about. Chauncey, just want to say one love to all. Never be afraid. We've been here for all time. It feels so great to be alive, baby. Oh, all the time. All the time. That's why I told you. I'm living my best life every single day. At the same time, Nefa, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Nefa, Naila, you are appreciated. I'm living my best life every single day. At the same time, I'm a walking. I told you, I just came back here to give you a message. I'm a messenger. Some people call me a prophet. Some people call me a master teacher. Some people call me an infinite being. Some people call me infinite waters. The cat down the road doesn't call me any of those things. He just says Ralph. But I want you to really realize it's about to get real on the planet.
Another year.
You see,
you've been granted another complimentary celebration credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time.
Kim, you're the best, Ralphie. Kim, you are appreciated. 33. That's my favorite number. If you don't know, I was born on March 3rd, Deep Divers. That's why I say I'm the 33. And that's why I'm always protected. That's why the universe always works in my favor, because I'm the 3-3. Right? I'm the 33. Which deals with the Christ consciousness. That's why I always got to bring you the real. And I want to remind you, Deep Divers, I want to say a shout out to everyone who is holding the space for humanity right about now. Shout out to everyone, all the light workers out there who are doing the work, helping people. Kimberly Tocco, you are appreciated. My soul craves the freedom of real life. Yes, I feel you, Kimberly. I feel you, Kimberly. And this is where a lot of people are, because I told you, it's about to get real. Like Kimberly's saying it right now. My soul craves the freedom of real life. Step off social media and breathe. Woo. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's powerful. Kimberly. That's powerful right there. My soul craves the freedom of real life. Step off social media and breathe. Now, that's a powerful statement, because I've been telling people that a lot of this social media, you know, I got to thank YouTube, because YouTube did help a brother out. At the same time, I'm not a fan of YouTube right now, because YouTube is censoring people. It's censoring free speech. This is why a lot of people have gone to Spotify, they've gone to other platforms, because YouTube is the number one video site on the internet. So it's a very powerful tool. But you see how YouTube gained its prominence was by people being creative.
Thank you for your monetary support.
Jose, you are appreciated. I appreciate that, brother. How YouTube gained its popularity was because there was freedom of speech. Now I'm sure you've noticed a lot of people have stopped making YouTube videos. A lot of people are disconnecting even from social media. A lot of people aren't on the gram like they used to be. I don't even know what Facebook is. I have a Facebook. I don't use it. Right? I don't spend more than a minute on Facebook. I just post something that I'm out. Right? And it's because what's happened is that all of this social media could be a great tool. It could be a great tool. Facebook could be amazing. Instagram could be amazing. YouTube could be amazing. But we have to make sure there is no censorship. Then it's a great tool. But if you're censoring information, now you are manipulating people. And this is why there's been a lot of pushback. A lot of people right now are taking matter into their own hands, saying, actually, just like Kimberly said, my soul craves the freedom of real life. You see, I always tell you, don't trade this real life for that fake life on social media. Because we have to remind ourselves, and we're going to talk about it, Deep Divers. We've got a whole lot to talk about. But we got to remind ourselves that what actually happened is they kind of moved people into this social media because first they allowed people to say whatever they want. Google bought YouTube.
Credits received. Thank you for your monetary support.
Eric, you are appreciated. And when Google bought YouTube, everything changed. You see, the two people who first created YouTube, the three people, it was a very free place. And then all of a sudden, the censorship came. And this is part of everything that's happening because they do want a world where the real world is the internet. That's it. There is no other world than the internet. And this is why I told you in that video, the cyber attack, you saw what happened to Keziah, okay, the massive cyber hack. And they want a whole world only in an artificial environment. Because the inorganic ones can only exist in the AI. That's their world. Like this internet shit, that's their world. The organic nature, that's our world. So we got to remind ourselves that even when you are using these platforms, all of these things, you got to remind yourself that this is not yours.
Thank you for your monetary
right?
support.
This is not yours. I mean, what's happened is, let me shout out to Diving Bear. You are appreciated. Much love and gratitude. Kemet Prince 1 in the house. 1. Thanks for keeping the light. Bring in the dark. I hope me spreading your videos is helping light the way. Hey, I appreciate that. 1 love, and remember to keep the vibes high. Hold on a second. Oh, we're keeping the vibes high. We're keeping the vibes high. We're keeping the vibes high. We got angels singing, Diving Bear. That's how high the vibes are. We got angels singing for you. Right? So, Diving Bear, you are appreciated. You know the Kemet Prince 1. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, we got to remind ourselves that, and I always tell you,
Credits received.
you
Thank
will
you for your monetary support.
shout out to everyone who's here. We got to remind ourselves that the internet was created not to help you connect with other people, but it was connected for you to be controlled. We're going to talk about that. Sonia Bear, shout out to you. Ralphie is the only man who understands me. Your wisdom and humor is appreciated during this time. Glad to have your guidance. I appreciate you, Sonia. You are appreciated.
Credits
One love
received.
to you.
Thank you for your monetary support.
One love to you. So I want to remind you that a lot of people.
Credits received. Thank you for your
Now we're
monetary
gonna
support.
break down some science. You are appreciated. Because I told you. Everything is numerology. So let's play a little game. The letter W, what number is that? The letter W, what number is that? The letter W, what number is that? Because I told you how the inorganic ones run everything is through numerology. So I'm showing you why the internet which could be a great freedom, is actually the same tool they will use to control your us. We're going to talk about that. So it's a 3, right? Because before letters, there were numbers. So the letter W is actually the number 3. So if we go on to the URL, we have a www, right? www. So what is that? That's the 333. So we're talking about the number 9. In numerology, number 9 is a cycle of completion. In other words, the internet was the sign of the final endgame. And what that means is that, we're diving deep right now, right? The internet was a sign of the final endgame with a 333. That's the 9 cycle of completion. We're now talking about that time as we know it is coming to an end. You see, this is how they are controlling people. Because I told you, when the internet first started, it was a very free place. Napster, people downloading music, right? All kind of things. But also, people had a lot of freedom of speech. You could say anything you want, and that was okay. Now, they realized that this was part of the plan. You got to lure people in first. You can't just have a censorship first. But all along, they wanted to make the internet a very free place so you could share whatever you want. You could say whatever you want. But eventually, they realized that, hey, we got people hooked on this thing right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to buy everything on the internet. We're going to buy where everyone is. So Google bought YouTube. And then they had their own policies. And one of the policies is that, hey, you can't say anything I don't like. So what we're doing now is what we call digital eugenics. In other words, if the inorganic ones don't like your opinion about, let's say, COVID-19, they can delete you from the entire platform. And I told you, their whole agenda is to make the real world, the internet world. And this is why you have the human 2.0.
Another year of
right? The human 2.0 is all about merging.
Credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time. Thank you.
You are appreciated. Urgent alert. You are appreciated. We must stop plastic pollution, microplastic from circulating. We now have plastic rain happening. Too much contact with plastic can cause people to literally behave like zombies. Ooh. Diving deep. MTL, you are appreciated. Say no. You are appreciated. So, yeah, I told you. We got to protect this planet.
Thank you for your
So,
support.
Vincello's eye, you are appreciated. So, the inorganic one's plan was all about making sure
Thank you for your monetary support.
the real world no longer exists. And this is why they're destroying the whole rainforest, chemtrails, all of these things, fluoride in the water. They want to destroy the real world as much as possible. So the only thing that's left is your iPhone. Now, if you look at your iPhone, you have an apple, right? You have an apple that's half bitten, which symbolizes the forbidden fruit. In other words, it is man's exit and woman's exit out of the Garden of Eden, out of innocence, but into a sin, symbolizing you have fallen from your higher nature into your lower nature, and you're now in the realm of the beast. If we go to Revelation 13, 16 to 17, we can read this, not that you have to be religious, because I told you, religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've already been there. But all the ancient texts were telling you about the times we're living in right now. So Revelation 13:16-17, it goes like this. And he causeth all. And I already know this from memory, right? And he causeth all, both rich and poor, small and great, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell unless he has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? We're living in the end times. And this is why even the US government are now doing door-to-door knocking on people's door to say, hey, you had the jabs, right? You had the shots. Because it's getting to that point. It's getting real. It's getting real. And you have to prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. First and foremost, you're not powerless. You are powerful. The only way you can be controlled in this matrix is to be asleep. That's the only way you can be controlled. Because the inorganic ones know no one ever really dies. They know that energy is only transferred into the universe. So what they want to make sure that happens is they want to put you into a state of amnesia so you forget who you are, and now they can hijack your whole body. Because it's a battle for the hearts and minds of it's a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. It's a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. Now, let me just tell you this, Deep Divers truth moment. You got people on YouTube. Listen very closely. You got people killing each other, playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, violent video games. Yet you have a few people on YouTube who are bringing truth to power and exposing everything that's happening. And these are the people who are getting censored. Right? So I told you, the inorganic ones cannot stand the truth, because truth can never stand next to lies. Lies can never stand next to the truth. Lies can never stand next to the truth. And this is why one truth is more powerful than 1,000 lies, right? Just one truth about this whole global pandemic is more powerful than 1,000 lies, because that's the truth. The truth stands for itself, right? And this is why what they've done, because I told you, the inorganic ones control the artificial world. The chosen ones control the organic world. And this is why I told you. Right now, humanity has bitten the apple. In other words, that is symbolic of us eating the forbidden fruit and merging into the inorganic one's world, into the technology world. That's their realm. Artificial world. Virtual reality. That's their world. And this is why everything is plaguing humanity the way it's plaguing them, because we forgot to connect back to nature. We bit the apple, and what's on the back of your phone? The apple. In other words, you went into the artificial world, which is the realm of the inorganic ones. That's a world you can never win. They created the world. That's the illusion world. You can only exist in that world if you are also an illusion, if you are also inorganic. And that's why in that world, it is the inversion. It is where everything is in reverse. I told you. You go back to ancient Kemet, Egypt, in the emerald tablet, in the emerald tablets, you have as above, so below, right? As above, so below. Meaning what is on earth is in the heavens, right? You also have as within, so without, meaning what is happening internally will mirror what you experience externally. So there's a whole mirroring going on in our entire reality. In other words, as you are in your higher self, someone has to be in their lower self. As you want to help people say, wake up, open your eyes to what's really happening with the global pandemic and everything. As you are in your higher self, you want to help people, chosen ones. You have another being, inorganic being, on the other spectrum who wants to deceive people. Because this is how it works. Everything in the universe is polarity. In this realm is polarity. We can talk about the 7 Hermetic principles in another video. We can talk about the Kabbalion a bit later on. So when you realize this polarity, if Jesus was watching your live, Ralph, what would you say?
Credits received. Thank you for your monetary support.
Shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers, right? So, like I always say, everything in the universe is polarity. And this is why, as you want to help people, you have people who want to deceive people. You would say, why would someone want to deceive people? Why would someone want to create plagues and famines and stage food crises and all kind of disasters? Because there is polarity. That's okay. In ancient China, they knew about it. It was called the Tao. And the Tao is all about the yin and the yang. And the yin and the yang states that everything in the universe is balance. Everything is balance. And that means you need the inorganic ones. That's part of the cosmic cycle of life. But you've got to make sure you're not turning into them yourself. What's happened is that the reason why the world is out of balance is because we bit the forbidden fruit, the apple. We merged with the machine, and now
Credits received.
We are being manipulated because we are out of our own world. We are living in an artificial world, which is not our own. Right? And this is why it's so essential every single day to make sure you're reconnecting back to nature, going to the ocean, getting that sunlight, 7-day vegan challenge, eating to live. That's your world. But you see, what's happened on the planet is that a lot of us, we fail to see that all of this technology is modeled after you. And it doesn't compare to you in the slightest bit. And what they're trying to do is repackage it to make you worship the technology over a human being. And that's what this is all about, because eventually you're going to say, you know what? I love this technology so much. Let me become the Terminator. Let me become the human 2.0. Let me get the microchip in my hand. It's already happening, deep divers. People are already having microchips in their hands. They open a door, it opens just from their hand. So I want to remind you that this is all the mark of the beast, the mark of the inorganic ones, because we have entered their realm willingly.
Credits received.
Because
monetary support.
Once again, human beings didn't value each other enough. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. Deep divers, make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like button, deep divers. We got over 2,000 people here. We just started, all right? It's already full right now. We got a whole lot to talk about. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Smash the like button, deep divers, and share this link. Give thanks. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. I got to read the chat as well, deep divers, because we got a lot of people here. We got a lot of people here giving thanks. The third view.
Credits received.
The third view. Please tell. Gay Red, you are appreciated. The third view, tell everyone what you said the last time. Right? Because what you said was powerful. The inorganic ones want a world where we are forced to always be attached to a device tracking and listening to us. Most restaurants are now only doing digital menus. I better get moving, developing some land in my family.
Another
Absolutely.
year of support. You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time. Thank you.
The third view, absolutely, absolutely. And what you had said last time, which was so profound, is that I'm paraphrasing, but you said it's time to get out of this circus show. Right? And that's what it's become. You know, the world has become a circus show. And it's really time to get out. It's time to free yourself from the lies, from the deception, but also remind yourself that the greatest secret you were never told is that if human beings come together, they can turn this whole thing around. They can turn this whole thing around. And that's why I always tell you, remind yourself how much power you have. Every single day, remind yourself of the power that you have. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. Justin, you are appreciated. Justin, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Thank you, Ralph, for sharing your light and love during this time of great transition. You continue to be a great inspiration to me as you continue to validate the truth that few people see. Because of you, I have found my people, my fellow deep divers. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And that's why I always tell you, deep divers, so many beautiful souls are waking up to what's really happening on the planet. You see, I want to remind you that the game is rigged. The game is rigged. And the way to unrig the game is to create your own game, because their game is rigged. They created it. So it's going to work in their favor. I told you. What are algorithms?
Credits received.
What are algorithms?
Monetary support.
Agents in disguise. You know, one of my videos got deleted off YouTube. I actually contacted YouTube. And the guy was like, you know, we don't shadow ban on YouTube. I said, that's ridiculous, because a lot of people say, Ralph, I don't even see your videos anymore. I don't even see your videos in the search engine anymore. So we got to remind ourselves that something fishy is going on, because what's happening is that a lot of people are saying stuff, but the algorithms, they're hiding the information that's about the truth. Because I told you, everything in the matrix is the inversion. And this is why if you go on YouTube, just go on the live page, like where they do the live streaming, and just see some of the lives they do. A lot of them are just designed to keep you in the matrix. They're not about awakening you or anything. So you got to remind yourself that it's all done by design, because in this game they created in the matrix, it's all rigged. However, we take our power back when we create our own game. You see, one of the things you got to remind yourself of is that, and this is what a lot of the inorganic ones know, they know their time is up. And this is why they're going to great lengths just to hang on a little bit longer. But they know how the story goes. They know how the story ends. And I told you, if it seems like the villains are winning, that's because the story isn't over yet. So we already know how the story goes. In the end, love always wins, right? Love always wins. at the same time, they want to hold on. They want to hold on as long as they can. And they want to do it with your permission. And this is why I told you it's about to get real. You see, a lot of people, friends and family, they're encouraging you to say, hey, get along to sing along to get along. Just get in line, take the jab, do this, do that, right? So even your own friends and family have now turned into bots. Let me repeat that. Even your own friends and family have now turned into Agent Smiths. Let me repeat that. Even some of your own friends and family have now turned into Agent Smiths. They are reporting you if you have not been tested. They are reporting you if you have not been jabbed. Right? Even your own family, some of your own family and friends, they've turned into Cypher. A lot of people, they were like, hey, I was so awake. Now it's like, I'm going back into the Matrix, baby. I told you. Because you see, when I used to live in Venice Beach, California, had a great friend who was so all about eating healthy. She did a whole 180. She's like, pass me the hot dogs, this, that. That's what happens, because I told you. A lot of people, you might think they're awake, but now we're getting to see who people really are. Right now, we're getting to see people's true colors. A lot of people are like, hey, I ain't awake, man. And not only that, they're also policing you. They're also telling you what to do. You even got mainstream artists and singers saying, hey, you better get the jab. You better do this. You better do that. So it's not, they're now trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. Whatever happened to just living freely? Now you even got the peer pressure from celebrities. Your favorite celebrity is telling you, hey, just get back into the Matrix, right? So I told you. Now is the final end game. You're now seeing people's true colors. A lot of these celebrities aren't really awake. A lot of them, they're only out for themselves. They're only out for themselves. They don't care about anybody. They're like, hey, I got to do as Master says. A Master says this, so I got to do it. And this is why a lot of sports stars, a lot of celebrities, they're encouraging you to fall in line. And I told you, many celebrities, sports stars, entertainers, these are the gatekeepers of the Matrix. I'm also a gatekeeper. They are also gatekeepers. Any influencer who has a large audience is a gatekeeper. And therefore you can choose to inspire people, help people, or you can be paid to keep people asleep. And the more people you can keep fast asleep, the more you will be paid in the artificial world. Not in the real world, but in the artificial world, you will be paid handsomely. You can show off your crib on MTV, all kind of things. But you'll always be poor in the real world. And that's why a lot of celebrities, what happens? Overdose. What happens? Depression. Because they get everything. That's what happened to Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey realized, I got all of these millions of dollars and it's not even anything. Because when you have all of that, the next question is, what else? You see, it wears off. When you have all when you hang out at all the fancy parties, you're in big mansions, have a nice house, nice wife, nice husband, whatever it is. You're driving a Lambo, Rolls Royce. You start to realize that these things are all illusions. All beautiful illusions. And this is why the good news is that a lot of people who have a lot of wealth are also starting to wake up. They realize they can't take it with them. And they also realize that What did Steve Jobs say? I don't want to be the richest man in the grave, right? We got to remind ourselves it's about to get real. As you already know, the US government are doing knocking on people's doors. And if you don't know now, you know. Because I told you. The human spirit is so powerful. It's so powerful that once upon a time, human beings, they live free. Have you seen the meme Deep Divers? Once upon a time, all the food was organic. You ever seen that? Once upon a time, all the food was organic. Let me shout out to you. Rich R, you are appreciated. God bless Ralph, you are appreciated. Once upon a time, all the food was organic. Well, once upon a time, Deep Divers, believe it or not, and I want you to ask your parents, maybe ask your grandparents if they're still alive. Ask anyone who's over 70. You see, my mom, she went to Egypt when she was young. You know what she told me? You could just climb up the pyramids. You can do anything. There was no one there. And she's got pictures of that. Now when you go, there's people all around it. And the same way, once upon a time, not too long ago, you didn't even need a passport to travel. Right? That's just a fact. You didn't even need a passport to travel.
Another year of support. You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time. Thank you.
Divinity speaks, you are appreciated. You are appreciated. Divinity speaks, hey brother, thank you for all the wisdom that you give us every day. You have helped me become the infinite being that I am, diving deep and set me free. Woo, you are appreciated. You are appreciated. So I want to remind you that once upon a time, people were so free that they were traveling all around the globe. They were taking big adventures, big trips. Like, hey, I'll see you when I see you. No mobile phones, so you didn't know where anyone was. So every day was a real adventure. Now you might think, hey, I got my mobile phone, Ralph, I'm free. No, because now they know your every single movement. Now with a mobile phone, you are a slave. And this is what it's all about, keeping you in the mainframe. Keeping you in the mainframe and keeping you in the grid. That's what this is all about. Because when you look at this technology, you now realize that this technology is a big distraction. I wrote Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, Deep Divers, #1 best-selling book, when I wasn't on the internet. No Instagram, no Twitter. I was just writing. And a lot of people get very creative when they take a break from social media. Like, have you ever turned off your phone, Deep Divers, for like a week? That's a serious question. That's a serious question. Have you ever turned off your phone for a week? Most people haven't even turned off their phone for a day. What are we talking about? Well, if you turn off your phone for a week, strange things happen. When I went to Brazil, I had no phone. Great things happened. When I was in Ethiopia, I switched my whole phone off. Great things happen. It's funny how the greatest things happen when you turn these devices off. Because now you can connect with who you really are. In nature, you may not find any Wi-Fi signal, but I guarantee you'll find a better connection. Slow motion. So it's about to get real. Prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. You see, a prepared mind is far more powerful than one that has its head in the clouds. You see, a lot of people thought this was all a conspiracy. Vaccine passports, all of this. They thought people were just talking to talk. Now they're starting to say, oh my gosh, Ralph, I'm getting kind of scared right now. Oh my gosh. Because I told you, everything they say, everything they put in those films in the 80s, they were just getting you ready on a subconscious level. The Terminator, getting you ready. Right? Getting you ready for what was coming. Demolition Man, getting you ready for what was coming. The Invasion, starring Nicole Kidman, getting you ready for what was coming. And in The Invasion, it was all about a global pandemic. It was all about a global pandemic, right? So we got to remind ourselves that they've been showing you what they're going to do in all of the films. Even in this new film called Infinite, I'm like, they've been watching Infinite Waters. How original. Right? They got a film called Infinite, and it's all about this guy waking up and realizing he is infinite and he can do anything. Because I told you, a lot of these Hollywood producers and directors, they're watching people like you. They're watching people like you and getting inspired to write their scripts. Right? And that's why They Live is also a great film. And this is why there is some truth in these Hollywood films. Because that's part of the plan, that's part of the pact they have to make. They always have to put the truth in plain sight. That's part of the oath the inorganic ones have to take. They have to always tell you what they're going to do. They got to put it in a film, put it in a song. They got to put it in plain sight because that's part of the ritual. You don't hide it. You put it in plain sight. So everything that's happening, they already told you it was going to happen. Just go back into some of the movies from the 80s, early 90s. They were getting you ready for it. The film, The Silence of the Lambs, right? The film, Silence of the Lambs.
Thank you for your monetary support.
Bruce, shout out to you, Bruce. Shout out to you, Bruce. Shout out to everyone who's here. We got nearly 3,000 people here. Make sure you smash the like button, deep divers. Smash the like button, everybody here. Let's beat these algorithms because this is how we can get the information now. I want everybody here right now, smash the like button and share this link. We got a lot to talk about. We got all day. Bruce, the boss resurrected. Shout out to you. YouTube nuked my channel last week, but I'm back to raise vibrations. Thanks, Ralph, for the motivation. You are appreciated. You know, one thing I want to tell you is that you're going to have to learn to not accept. You can also stand up. You can also say, actually, I'm going to stand up for my freedom of speech. This is how all the change happened in history. Rosa Parks said, hey, I ain't getting off this bus. Rosa Parks had to say, I'm not going to get off this bus. That's how change happened. So if you say YouTube nuked my channel, you want to say, wait a minute, let me contact YouTube to get my channel back because that's unacceptable. So what I'm trying to tell you is that change, and this is a great solution for everything that's happening. If, like when they deleted one of my videos in December, I wrote to YouTube, I said, this is unacceptable. And by me having this dialogue, a bit of sense went into their minds to say, okay, maybe he's got a point. You see, you cannot just accept without challenging. You can't just accept without challenging. They want you just to back down. and get censored. You have to say, wait a minute, I'm going to stand up for my freedom of speech. If everyone does that, these platforms, YouTube, Facebook, they will have no choice but to make everything free speech. The reason why they can get away with it is because people back down and they don't put up the fight.
Thank you for your monetary support.
So I want to remind you to, if a video of yours gets deleted, if your channel gets deleted, protest, stand up, go to the courts, protect your freedom of speech, because that's where we are right now. And that's how things get changed. So always remind yourself of that. Angel of Cups, you are appreciated. Thankful for you. Let me shout out to Angel of Cups. So many beautiful deep divers here, deep divers, right? So, and that's why I told you. If you notice, Modern Warfare is still up. Call of Duty is still up. You have people playing shoot 'em ups every single day, killing each other. Oh, those videos are still up. Right? For a reason. Because I told you, they can't handle the truth. Inorganic ones can't handle the truth. They're scared of the truth. Gotta run from the truth. Gotta hide from the truth. Because that's what happens with the truth. Lies get exposed. Lies can never stand next to the truth. So you have to keep spreading your truth, because this is how you find your empowerment. Let me shout out to all the wonderful deep divers here. So many wonderful deep divers here. You see, it's about to get real. Let me just talk about this, deep divers. You see, there is a play called Gaslighting. Gaslight, right? And it was a play, very famous play called Gaslight.
Thank you for your monetary support.
Ariana Kriebel, you are appreciated. The most beautiful star, you are appreciated. Let me shout out to everyone who's here giving thanks. The wonderful Ariana Kriebel, you are appreciated, star. Here to say I love you. I love you too. You are appreciated. And I'm grateful for you forever. Thank you for all that you are. You are appreciated, Ariana. Most definitely. Most definitely. And so there's a whole play called Gaslight. And in that play, Gaslight, what you see is a man who is convincing a woman she is imagining things in her head. And it's a very interesting film. Well, there's an actual concept called gaslighting. And that means it's a subtle form of manipulation. You actually make someone doubt their own sanity. So for instance, someone can say, I don't believe the news. And you might tell them, oh, that's all in your head. You're imagining things. That's what we call gaslighting. And this is what the inorganic ones have been using for a long time to control humanity. So if you are someone who is raising questions about everything that's happening on the planet, like the US government knocking on your door, oh, you're crazy. Snap out of it. That's what we call gaslighting. So they make it out as if you're imagining things and you're making it up. You're making it all up in your head, right? You're making it all up in your head. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. And that's why I always tell you, study psychology. I'm a psychologist, so I already know the tricks they play. And when you realize people like Edward Bernays, right? Edward Bernays is the father of PR. Edward Bernays got women to smoke cigarettes, right? Up until that point, women weren't smoking cigarettes. He said, hey, we're going to make it so that we can boost the sales of these lucky cigarettes. We're going to make it seem that cigarettes are glamorous, that you're going to want to smoke cigarettes. So through his advertisement campaigns, overnight, cigarette sales went through the roof. Now, do you know who owns Netflix? Do you know who the CEO of Netflix is?
Credits received. Thank you for your monetary support.
Do you know the link between Edward Bernays and Sigmund Freud? Do you know who Sigmund Freud was? Do you know the link between Edward Bernays and Sigmund Freud? Do you know the link between Edward Bernays and the CEO of Netflix? Well, they're all related. Right? We'll say that for another video, deep divers, right? But what I'm telling you is that everything is calculated. Everything is calculated. And the media is actually an ancient Greek goddess called Medea, Medea. And one of her traits was to be very cunning. And Medea would create illusions in the Greek mythology. Well, the same thing is happening right now. The same thing is happening right now. And I told you, everything in this world is inverted. The artificial world, it has to be inverted. This is the polarity that exists in this 3D dimension. So you have the real world, the natural world, but you also have the inversion. Like the ancients said, as above, so below, as within, so without. So you have a mirroring going on. And just as you are awakening, you want to help people, you're all about love, freedom, eating to live. You also have people on the other spectrum who are the total opposite. And it's always been this way in the universe. There's nothing wrong with it. The inorganic ones have always been around. It's part of the Tao, the yin and the yang. Now, what's happened though, is that humanity has bitten the apple. In other words, there's a huge imbalance because now even organic beings are now turning into inorganic beings. You're now merging into their world and you're forgetting about your own. This is the problem that's on the planet. You didn't come here to live like this, right? So a lot of people are now starting to realize you're in a prison and you don't even know it. And that's what the film Get Out was all about. You better get out because you're in a sunken place. They were giving you messages in that film that you are in a sunken place. You see, in that film, what was happening? They were looking for organs, all kind of things. That's what was happening behind the scenes. That film had a lot of subliminal messages. But also the other one Jordan Peele did, which was Us, was a fantastic film. He was also telling you a lot of messages in that film to say, hey, you know, these doppelgangers, there's an underground world, right? There's an underground world. And in that film, what did they have? They had the White Rabbit. And in The Matrix, it said, follow the White Rabbit. So there's a whole underground world. And this is why I told you. Most people haven't got a clue about what's really happening on the planet. All you're seeing is just what's on display. You're not seeing what's in the warehouse. You're not seeing what's in the crazy, what they're doing behind the scenes. So most people forget that the whole world is a stage. I told you about Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a bard. And all the bards at that time in England had the most power. And they still do. All the writers control the world. That's why they say, in the beginning was the word. In other words, the word is more powerful than the sword. Why is that so? Because laws have to be written down. Why is that so? Because books written thousands of years ago are still controlling people till this day. So the word, the writing, the pen is always more powerful than the sword. That's why I told you. Make sure you are writing something down. Write a book. inspire other people, right? Make sure you are, because I'm sure a lot of you are going through things, have a diary. Make sure you write what you are feeling down, even publish a book. So you can get all of your thoughts out there. You can leave it for someone else to read. You can inspire people. My book, Feel Alive, so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have seen the book. Just imagine if I didn't write it. All of those people would have been missing out. So I want to remind you, always realize that you have a lot to offer. You could write something that could shake this whole thing up. You could say something that could shake this whole thing up. So right now, a lot of people know there are questions to be asked. And I told you, anyone who tells you you shouldn't ask questions is trying to manipulate you. What happens in a relationship when one partner thinks the other one is cheating? They start asking them questions. Now, the one who's been cheating says, hey, I don't want to answer any questions. You see, because the more you ask questions, eventually you'll come to the truth. Let me repeat that. The more you ask questions, eventually you'll come to the truth. When you just accept, you'll always be lied to. And this is why children ask a lot of questions, because they are in the free spirit. Every free spirit naturally asks a whole lot of questions. Children, they're asking questions every single 5 seconds. What's this? What's that? Who's this? Who's that? It's human beings who have been programmed. They start asking questions.
Thank you for your monetary support.
And you have to learn how to start asking questions again. It's called critical thinking. It's called critical thinking. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. Everyone who's here, make sure you smash the like button, deep divers. Smash the like button and give thanks. I told you, we got a whole lot to talk about. We got all day, right? Phoenix, you are appreciated. Shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix 24 Ham, you are appreciated. Balance your mind. Balance your soul. Follow your path. Remember, the soul does not lie. Gratitude, Ascended Master Ralph, you are appreciated. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. And I want to tell you this, deep divers, that we got to remind ourselves, like I told you, right now, many people are starting to realize that it's getting real, with the US government doing door-to-door knocking, right? Knocking on people's door, right? If you didn't hear, go and check that out. Go and check out that story. It's already happening. I told you, it's about to get real. When we talk about the two worlds that are in existence, the real world and the illusion world. Now, in this artificial world, the AI, which is what this is all about, in this AI world, if you are an organic being, you aren't drawn to live in the artificial world. And this is why a lot of people are refusing everything they want for them, because they know that if they accept it, they might as well be a robot. They might as well be an android. And I want to remind you, never trade something that's real for something that's fake. You see, the trick of the inorganic ones is to give you a fake gold coin when you are the real gold coin. You are the real gold coin. They want to give you a fake one and say, hey, be happy with that. The most powerful supercomputer in the world is only a skeleton compared to a full living human being. It's no match. And this is what they don't understand. They don't understand that how can a human being be so powerful? So what they're trying to do is recreate you in a digital form. And you have to make sure that you are protecting yourself every single day. One of the greatest ways to protect yourself is to not be in fear. One of the greatest ways to protect yourself is to not believe everything they tell you. I told you. You will never find any truth from what they tell you. In the media, on the news, on the TV. The reason why is because they didn't create these things to awaken you. They created these things to keep you asleep. When I threw away my TV deep divers over 15 years ago, more than that, long time ago, man, 20 years ago, when I threw away my TV, it was the best thing that happened to me. I haven't watched TV for a long time. Like I used to sit down and watch a TV. I haven't done that for years. And it's amazing when you cut that out of your life, you get a whole new life back. You're more awake. Well, you see, the inorganic ones knew that people were stopping to watch the TV. So they said, okay, don't worry, we got another plan. We're going to make sure the TV is right inside of their pocket. So don't look down on people who don't watch TV. Don't look down on people who do watch TV, because your iPhone is another TV. Your Android phone is another TV. And they did the switch. They did the whole switch that your iPhone is no different than a TV. And that's the new TV. Your Android is the new TV. And if you are watching it, or if you're on your phone for like hours and hours, you got to realize that's why there's a rise in myopia, short-sightedness. People are having more eye problems than ever because people are spending hours and hours on a screen. But that's the whole joke of the inorganic ones, that the closest you'll get to a human being is through a screen. Right? That's the whole joke of the inorganic ones. The closest that they want you to a human being is to look at them through a screen, but you'll never touch them. And you have to make sure you are meeting real people, you're having real connections. That's what it's all about. It's about to get real, deep divers. MTL, you are appreciated. It's about to get real.
Credits received. Thank you for your
Prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. What I want to tell you is right now, everyone is showing what side they are truly on. And you're starting to see, because I told you, you're starting to see who people really are. You thought a lot of people were awake. You thought they were awake and aware. But now they're like, I ain't awake and aware, man. You should stick to the script, right? Stick to the script. So you're now starting to realize that now people are choosing which side they are truly on based on their level of awareness, but also based on the role they chose to play. Metaphysical Mike, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. My birthday was last Friday. I turned 24 years old. Feels like the universe is taking me into a brand new phase, and I'm grateful. Gratitude, Mike. Metaphysical Mike, you are appreciated. Gratitude to you. And may you enjoy it. Like I always say, give thanks, deep divers. Make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like button and share this link. Let's beat the algorithm. So when you realize that many people have chosen which side they want to be on, and we chose it before we actually came into this incarnation through our soul contracts. I could have chosen to be a complete asshole. I could have chosen to deceive people, but I chose to awaken people. But as I'm playing this role, someone else is playing the role of deception, manipulation. So when you realize that the inorganic ones are only doing what they're supposed to be doing, you have to ask yourself, what the hell am I doing? They're going to do their job. You better be doing your job. Right? And this is why I told you, they're not going to stop. So you shouldn't stop doing what you're here to do, because it's very simple. Love is 1 trillion times stronger than fear. But why does it seem that fear is winning? Because fear is the most accessible to people. To be in fear, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be a scaredy cat. To be on the love frequency, you got to do some work. You got to face your shadow side. And this is why a lot of people gravitate to bad news more than good news. And they've conditioned you this way as well. If there's a bad news story, you say, oh, let me check it out. If there's a great news story of positivity and love, a lot of people say, I don't want to hear that shit. Why? Because it takes work to be at that love frequency. You got to be there because it's a higher level. You got to go through the levels. If you're on the lower frequency, that's where the fear is, the death, destruction, all of these things. On the love frequency, there's only life. And you realize no one ever really dies. Everything is energy in movement. So I want to remind you, deep divers, it's about to get real. Because they aren't stopping. The inorganic ones aren't stopping. You already heard the US government door-to-door knocking on everyone's doors in the US. It's already here. And they don't stop doing what they have to do. Don't blame them. That's all they know. They don't know love. They don't know peace. All they know is control. They want to control you. All they know is manipulation. All they know is deception. And this is why I told you, a voice of truth is more powerful than 1,000 voices of lies. You have people playing violent video games, talking about violent things all over the internet. The inorganic ones have no problem with that. What they have a problem with is you speaking the truth. The reason why is because you start to realize the emperor wears no clothes. In that story by Hans Christian Andersen, let me just break down the story for you. This very wealthy emperor said, hey, he would go to his finest tailors and say, kit me out. So they would always give him the greatest attires, the greatest garments. And he would always ask people in the community, in the town, how do I look? Oh, you look fabulous, emperor. You look amazing. One day he got so full of himself, he went to the tailors. He said, hey, I want the best garment they've ever seen. The tailors were shook. They're like, oh my gosh. Okay, let's do this, let's do that. Now, the tailors didn't actually do anything. The emperor was so full of himself, he tricked himself to believe he was actually wearing clothes. He said, oh my gosh, look how beautiful I look. Look how handsome I am. I'm so amazing. So we went to the town.
You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit.
Crystal
Please
Michelle,
no
good
live
ass prana.
animals
Let's
or
just
real
breathe
fire
deep
this
divers.
time. Thank you.
Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. So they went to the town and he was asking people, how do I look? They all said, Emperor, you look fantastic. The emperor wasn't wearing any clothes, but he had intimidated people for so long. They said, oh, you look so wonderful. He kept asking people, how do I look? Oh, you look amazing. Until one girl, one tiny little girl, shouted out, the emperor wears no clothes. After that, it was a wrap. Everyone else started to say, the emperor wears no clothes. In other words, the moral of the story is that sometimes it's the smallest people who have the loudest voice. The little girl was able to realize the emperor was living in a grand illusion. Everyone else was going along with it, right? So it's a very powerful story. You should read it. The emperor wears no clothes, right? And this is what's happened in the Matrix. The emperor wears no clothes. You've been tricked into believing this thing is something grand and big. The emperor wears no clothes. You got to see the illusion for what it is. It's all a smoke screen. And when you see you're living on some ridiculous cheap set B movie, you're going to start to see the cameraman. You're going to start to see the gaffer. You're going to start to see the DP. You're going to start to see the lighting guy. You're going to start to see the director there. You're going to start to realize the whole world is a stage. They've been filming this whole thing in plain sight. So you have to wake up to remind yourself it's all part of the script. And the way out of the script is to make sure you have a system failure on this matrix. It's a system reboot. Because you see, many people, I was a fan of Krishnamurti. Now, Krishnamurti said it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Many people in this matrix most people die at 25 and don't get buried until 75, right? Most people die at 18, I say, and don't get buried until 75. A lot of people are mere corpses walking around, shells of who they used to be. And many people are not actually living, they're merely existing. They think they're alive, but then again, so do zombies. And this is why it's so essential to make sure you're really living and not merely existing. You didn't come here just to make it through the day. You didn't, because this is also part of the little tricks the inorganic ones play. What they do is they give you little presents. And also, they give you things, then they take them away. And this is why you have to be aware of how it works. So I can keep you in the house in lockdown and then say, hey, I've lifted lockdown, and you're celebrating. Well, in actuality, there's nothing to celebrate. You were supposed to be free all along. So another trick I can do, deep dive, is I can put a bin bag over you for a year and say, guess what? You no longer have to have the bin bag over your head, and you celebrate. Yeah. And this is why Mark Twain said it is easier to fool people than to convince people they have been fooled. So it's what I always say. You have to watch the games they play. You're not supposed to be celebrating what is rightfully yours. Let me repeat that. You're not supposed to be celebrating what is rightfully yours. Being free is your birthright. So don't be elated and so happy that, hey, lockdown has been lifted. You were free to begin with. So there is no benefit. There's nothing to celebrate. So we got to move forward. And thank goodness so many people are starting to move forward right about now, because it's about time. A lot of people are waking up to realize that, you see, there is no change without people coming together. The inorganic ones have been doing this for a long time, separating human beings into distinct categories and groups for a reason. I told you. People say, Ralph, why don't you really get caught up on the whole race thing? Because I told you, race is an illusion. And this is why Deep Divers, Infinite Waters is the most diverse audience ever, because I was smart enough not to play the race game. Because there's only one race on the planet. It's called the human race. Now, when we break down the words human race, there's a reason why the inorganic ones created races, because they had to put human beings against each other. There's also a reason why they created countries. If you look at the map of Africa, I told you in one video, Africa and much of the world, we'll just talk about Africa, had no borders at all. All of the countries in Africa were given names in the Berlin Conference, right? The Berlin Conference. And the Roman general, one of his names was Afrique. That's why they called it Africa. If you look at the old maps, it was just called Ethiopia. From Herodotus, Ethiops, which is a sunburnt people, right? It was just called Ethiopia. That's why they now finding Lucy in Ethiopia, oldest human remains. That's your mother. Thank you, Lucy. I used to work with the Lucy deep divers in the library. Now, so you realize that this is what's created a lot of problems on the planet. This whole separation. And I told you, this is what you have to be aware of. When you are aware, you reclaim your power. I told you, I saw a guy, I hadn't seen him for a while. He's from Peru. I said, hey, how is Peru? You're from Peru. He said, no, Ralph, I'm not from Peru. I'm from planet Earth. He was very awake because he already realized the trap. If he was to say he's from Peru, I'm Peruvian, that's part of the illusion as well. So we got to remind ourselves not to get so attached to these labels, because they have all been given to you for a reason, not for your benefit. Because the inorganic ones have no nationality. They all work together. And this is why the US government are doing door-to-door knocking, right? Because they all work together. They only got one plan, and it's simple. The only plan is to make sure your ass is in lockdown. That's all. Because I told you, this force can only exist when you are in a state of fear. Can only exist when you're in a state of fear. Shout out to everyone who's here, Deep Divers. Make sure you give thanks. Make sure you smash the like button. How are we feeling out there, Deep Divers? So this force can only exist if you are in fear. It can only exist if you hand over the power. It loses power when you no longer give it yours. And this is why a lot of conscious parents, they took their children out of those schools. They took their children out of those schools. I mean, when I look back at school deep divers, I realized it was a waste of time. I realized it was just eating into your time. Once again, they got to do that. They got to slow you down. Because just imagine, we all have a purpose. Just imagine if you were doing exactly what you came here to do from day one. And this is why in the ancient worlds, they were already trained and reared to become masters. You got Shaolin masters, all of these people. It's because they were doing it every day from young. That's all they were doing. Many people also had a great gift, great talent, but they went through the meat grinder. They came out the other side. They were never the same again. They lost their shine, lost their glow. They're tired. You got some people who are young, they feel old, because that's why it's all done by design, to make sure they drain your battery. So that's why you got to protect your energy. Hold on to this battery you have and recharge it every single day. We got a lot of deep divers here. Deep divers, how you feeling? Make sure you smash the like button, deep divers, and give thanks. Let's loosen up a bit, deep divers, and raise the frequency. I want to hear from you, deep divers. Make sure you give thanks, and let's go. I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. How you feeling today, deep divers? Give love, give thanks. One love to everyone. Let's go. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Yeah, I'm so happy. It's a choice. It's always a choice. It's about to get real, deep divers. Enjoying the 80s. Prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. So, like I told you, the US government someone actually said, Ralph, do a video on that. Like, I'm kind of scared of this door-to-door knocking. And that's understandable, But like I told you, you don't have to be afraid. You do have rights, you see. You do have rights, you do have powers, you do have freedoms. And every single day you have to make sure that you are in your power. Every single day. Let me shout out to everyone who's here. Let me just give some thanks to everyone who's here. Ralph, always keeping it real. Thank you. You are appreciated. Shout out to you. You are appreciated. Raw Generation, shout out to you. Whether you are in a physical or mental prison, you still have a cell number. Ooh. Oh my gosh, stop it, Ralph. Hey, we got deep divers. We got some deep divers here. We got some deep divers there, right? That was powerful right there. That was powerful. Whether you are in a physical or mental prison, you still have a cell number. Oh my gosh, Ralph, stop it. Well, Raw Generation, let's play a little, let's dive deep, because you seem like to be a deep diver. So one thing I'll tell you, is part of this whole agenda is the disconnection and the reconnection. So they want to disconnect you from something to reconnect you to something. And it's all part of the Borg agenda. The Borg agenda is the transhumanism agenda, the human 2.0. Elon Musk already told you. You're already a cyborg. And we have to remind ourselves to remain human. We have to learn how to be human at all times. Let me shout out to the Art of Jamelia. You are appreciated. Everyone here, make sure you smash the like button. And I always want to remind you, deep divers, every single day, that your humanity is your power. Your humanity is your power. Your compassion is your power. Your love is your power. Your freedom is your power.
Credits received. Thank you for your monetary support.
I want you to always remind yourself of that every single day. And this is the greatest weapon you have. They are afraid of love because love creates a world they cannot control. Let me repeat that. They are afraid of love because love creates a world they cannot control. Let me repeat it one more time. They are afraid of love because love creates a world they cannot control. And this is why you gotta be in that love frequency. You gotta make sure you are in that love frequency. Art of Jamelia, you are appreciated. Thanks, Ralphie. Being free is our birthright. They cannot take our spirit. Let's rise up and take our power back. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, one thing I want to tell you of deep divers is this, that when you realize that a lot of people are using this technology in a beneficial way, you've got to go inside of the belly of the beast. That's what I did. There's a specific reason I said, hey, let me start sharing videos online, because I had to integrate with the matrix to change this thing from the inside out. And this is a great solution. So I don't want you just to look down on technology. This is also a tool to wake the walking dead up who are connected to it. And that's why I want everyone on this live right now, pull out your phone and add me on Instagram, Ralph Smart. Pull out your phone, add me on Instagram, Ralph Smart. Because once again, you want to remind yourself, you cannot be made a second-class citizen in your own world. Because all of a sudden, people are being told what to do. All of a sudden, people are second-class citizens in their own world. Stay indoors, do this, do that. So you want to remind yourself that this earth belongs to you and everyone else inside of it. So you must never be ashamed of saying, actually, this is my home. Not just one country. The whole of this planet is your home. And therefore, everyone is free to go to wherever they want at any time. No one, I can't tell you, hey, you can't go here, you can't go there. I have no right to do that, because your birthright is to be a free sovereign being. That's your birthright. Not just in one country, but in all countries. And this is what you have to hold on to, because this is what they want to take away from you. This is what they want to hide away from you. They want to lock you into a tiny box, not realizing you came to live in a throne. Slow motion. Slow motion. So one of the things that's very intriguing is it's about to get real. Prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. One of the greatest ways to prepare yourself is, let me just talk a bit about food, right? Now, I'm not only plant-based because I love animals. And I love animals, deep divers. I love the dog down the road, the cat down the road. I have compassion for animals because I realize they are here to do their own thing. But also, it is because I realize that you're going to have to learn how to let go. The more addicted you are to all of these foods in the matrix, what are you going to do when the supermarkets are shut? You got people banging on McDonald's at 2:00 in the morning, right? In the drive-thru. You become addicts. And this is why you have to learn how to wean yourself off all of these foods. Live on the bare minimum. That's why the ancient sages, the masters, they were able to fast. And through fasting, you become more disciplined. You also become superhuman. And this is why you go through that process called autophagy, right? And whenever I fast, I always feel better. Because we are overeating in this society anyway, right? And people who fast a lot, intermittent fasting, you are mentally sharper, more clarity, more energy. So when you learn how to let go of stuff, you actually become stronger. That's the weird thing. Ever eaten so much, deep divers, you can't even get up? You're so full, but now you feel tired because it's stealing your energy. So it's the whole balance of learning that when you can learn that you don't want to become addicted to all of these foods in the matrix, because the more you are, the more dependent you are on the system. You want to learn how to grow your own fruits, your own vegetables. Joan Cherry, you are appreciated. You want to learn how to grow your own fruits and your own vegetables? Live on the bare minimum, because this is how you free yourself every single day. A lot of people wouldn't know what to do if they couldn't get their favorite foods. Me, I can just drink water, eat an apple. I don't even need that. I'm good to go because I've already been letting go of foods that I'm not addicted to certain foods at all. I don't need it, right? And this is where you want to be, because now you can free yourself from all of their supermarkets and all of their system they want to trap you in. Because a lot of people, what happened when this thing first hit? Toilet roll and pasta. I remember going into the supermarket one time just to see what was going on. There was a whole couple, people fighting over toilet roll. Fighting over pasta. I'm like, oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Right. What's happening, deep divers? This is zombie apocalypse right now. Oh no. Right? So I want to remind you that right now we are in spiritual warfare. But the inorganic ones know their time is up. They know their time is up. And this is why they're trying to hang on as long as they can, but they already know how the story goes. We all do. It was written. Maktub, it was written, right? In the end, love always triumphs over fear. In the end, the righteous always take the throne. The reason why is because, and this is why I told you, Even the inorganic ones have to hide things in plain sight. That's one of the laws. They got to hide, they got to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. That's why Hollywood was created. Hollywood was created to tell you what they're going to do. Predictive programming, The Simpsons, all of these things. Telling you what they're going to do before it happens. You saw Trump on the escalator, on going up. What happened next? You saw Demolition Man, the Terminator. What happened next? Getting you ready for what's coming. And this is why you have to remind yourself that it's called a TV program for a reason. Because it's part of the program. You see, everything is about making sure that you are domesticated. You know why wolves can't be pets, deep divers? You know why wolves can't be pets? You know why wolves can't be pets? Because if you try and have a wolf as a pet, it will probably try eating you. It can't be controlled. Dogs can be domesticated, but they are also relatives to wolves. You see, wolves can't be controlled or domesticated. Neither can cats. And this is why they worship cats in the ancient world. They revered them. They held them highly in Egypt, all over the world, in India, because cats are aliens, deep divers. Cats are aliens. Cats cannot be controlled. The cat down the road has fallen off 10-story buildings, but it's got up again, deep divers. There's a reason why a cat has 9 lives, okay? But it's because cats, a lot of people in ancient literature, they talk about cats coming from another dimension. You cannot control a cat. Cats do whatever they want. And this is why human beings cannot put a cat on a leash. You don't see it. You don't really see it. Because they are free. They refuse to be domesticated because they know the truth. They're like, hey, human beings, you better stay away from me. That's why many times when you come next to a cat, if it doesn't know you, it's running the hell away or it's getting away from your ass because it knows you're only there to control it. It doesn't want to be a dog. It doesn't want to be put on a leash. Right? And this is why there's a difference between a wolf and a sheep. You see, Silence of the Lambs, the film with Hannibal Lecter, what was he wearing? And how can we link it into what's happening right now? Hannibal Lecter, what was he wearing? Right? And the film Silence of the Lambs is symbolic because that's what's happening. It's a silence of the lambs. Lambs are beautiful creatures. It's sad to say, but the fact still remains. When you are a lamb, you will only be sent to the slaughterhouse. Wolves are never sent to the slaughterhouse. They do the slaughtering. But I want to remind you, deep divers, that a lot of people are in this world unaware, blind to what's going on, because a lot of people, they live their lives according to the default program. You see, time was created to control people. There is no time in the universe. The inorganic ones know this, but they had to create the calendar. And this is why you have different calendars. You got the Gregorian calendar, you got the Julian calendar, you got all kind of calendars. And they had to create a calendar to make sure people believe in time and time is running out. And also to make people believe in the past or the future, when in actuality there is only now. And this is how to free yourself. When you realize the only thing that's happening is the eternal now. All the great sages knew this. There is no past, there is no future. It's all happening right now, this very moment. And the more you can fuse into that eternal now, the more you free yourself. You see, the media want you worried on something that's about to happen. Certain people got you thinking about the past, how you screwed up in the past, but the only thing that's happening is what's happening right now. And you have to always move into the here and now to empower yourself. Most people live in the past. Most people live in the future. They never live in the now. You got to remind yourself, there is nothing to be afraid of whatsoever with what's happening on the planet. It's about to get real, though, for those who are asleep, still drinking the Kool-Aid. If you've been in the nightclub all night, you wake up, you come outside, and you see a whole new world, of course, you're in for a rude awakening. For those who have been asleep, you're going to be in for a big shock when your eyes start to wake up a bit. Sleepy Chris TV, you are appreciated. Because you see, a lot of people are still young souls, caught up in the illusion, the TikToks, all of these things. And that's okay. Because they're young souls. But there's levels to this shit. And a soul that has been around for a long time, been diving deep, you can see through all of this in a few seconds, in a few milliseconds, because you are awake to the fact that you are a multi-dimensional being having a human experience. And stand in your power. A lot of people are already prepared mentally for what's coming. But for those that aren't, I want to remind you, it's about to get real. Prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. A lot of people put a lot of money into the system before 2020. They spent a whole lot of money on their business. Big checks. And what happened in 2020?
Support.
What happened in 2020? Dark cult, you are appreciated. Giving thanks to everyone here. If you are here, deep divers, we got 3,000 people here. Make sure you smash the like button and share this link. We got all day to talk. We got all day. We're just getting started. The code of the Dark Mother. Keep up the great work. You are appreciated. So, when you realize that you want to prepare yourself mentally for what's coming, because a lot of people are still under the dream spell. And they have no idea what's happening. But this was written in the good book. It's only the 144,000 that were ever awake. And that's why you have 1,440 minutes in a day. That's why the longest period of the Mayan calendar is also on the 144. That's why the Fibonacci sequence is on the 144. It's all about the 144. And not everyone's going to make it. This is why I told you it's about to get real. Prepare yourself for what's coming. Many people, friends and family, they don't want to hear anything. Their mind has already been abducted by the inorganic ones. It's too late. And you're not going to save them. Only the cat down the road can save them, deep divers. Right? Because only people can truly awaken themselves when they're ready. It doesn't mean that these people you know and love are doomed for eternity. It just means they are going to be in a purgatory. For a period of time, they're going to go along with everything. One day, maybe in a few lifetimes, they're going to wake up. Oh my gosh! But not right now. Because that's the thing. When you realize the inorganic ones know about lifetimes, they don't deal in years, human years. They deal in lifetimes. Like, okay, one incarnation, next incarnation, next incarnation. And they realize energy is always being transferred. This is why they always want to hold on to the throne. And the throne is the Lord of the Rings, the seat of the power, through the bloodlines, because they know no one ever really dies. If we can hold on to the power, we can pass it on. They got you believing that, hey, it's over. They know it's not over. They know they're going to come back. And that's why they want to be exactly where they are right now. And this is how many powerful families have held on to a lot of power in the Matrix, because they have master plans. If they truly believed when you are no longer here, it's over, they wouldn't be working so hard. They know that.
Cycle of support. Party time drones activated.
Amina, you are appreciated.
Maneuver Alpha initiated.
They know that souls are constantly reincarnating. And they know that energy can never be destroyed, only transferred. And this is why it's all about them creating this generational wealth so their children can take the positions they're in right now and continue the agendas, because they know this thing never stops. So remind yourself, it's never going to stop, because there is no time. But it's not about you realizing you are powerless. It's about realizing you're powerful. And it's about you realizing you have a choice to make, because it's about to get real. Prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. Already, the US government have announced they're knocking on people's doors. Right? Oh, you didn't see that coming, but I told you. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And people are going to say, oh, that's fine. But I told you. Every month, they're going to take it to the next level. And they're going to keep on going until eventually you're not going to have any freedom left. Unless you stand up for your freedoms. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure, they're like, hey, I just want to have fun. Right? A lot of people just want to turn up. They just want to have fun. They just want to drink. They just want to do that. They don't want to hear about anything. So this is why.
Another year of support. You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit. Please, no live animals or real fire this time.
Brandy, you are appreciated. Just spoke my truth. Thanks to you and the vibe. Much love, a chosen one. A lot of people are just going to go along. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Now, let me pose this question to you deep divers for a few seconds. Okay, so you look back in history. Now, you look back at the period of a global pandemic. DC, absolutely not.
Credits received. Thank you for your monetary support.
So you look back, shout out to you, DC. So you look back at the period of the global pandemic. What do you think you see on people's walls, which will be their social media? That's a question I asked to you today, Deep Divers. What do you see? Would the people know there was a global pandemic? That's a question. Answer it. Would the people know? Would the people know? If you look on the walls, right? Just say 300 years from now, people go back into the archives of humanity and they look up on this time in the global pandemic, and they look on people's social media profiles, would they know there was something big happening? What would they see instead? What would they see instead on the walls? In the archives? What would they see on people's social media? What would people see? It's all selfies, right? It's all selfies, right? Thank you. You said it, right? So we got someone who's awake and aware. All you'll see is people being self-absorbed. All you'll see is people taking selfies, smiling like they won the lottery. Yeah, I made it. What did you make? That's the question. You ain't made shit. Now, what I'm telling you is that it's such a masterful design because you would never know. And this is part of you see, everything is being recorded. All the data you share is the new history that's being created. So it's being written in the history book, right? Everything you're posting on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's all part of the archives from this time period. But if you were to fast forward 300 years, Shad and Tyrone, you are appreciated. You are appreciated, brother. If you were to fast forward 300 years and look back at this time, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2020, 30, and so on and so forth, you go to people's social media profiles, all you'll see is selfies, people being self-absorbed, dancing on TikTok. You'll be like, hey, there was no pandemic. So what they'll say, the inorganic ones will do this. Hey, it never happened. And that's how history can get rewritten, because there'll be no proof of it happening. Because if you were to go on a lot of people's profiles, you got people dancing on TikTok, turning up. You got people taking selfies, smiling. You'll never know anything is happening on the planet. And that's fantastic, because all the data that people are sharing is forming part of the history. And this is why it's so essential to start sharing something. You see, all of those people who have been sharing truth bombs, they can post a selfie. They already did the work. They got something to smile about. But you got people on Instagram who are taking selfie after selfie, and you ain't done any work. You got people on Instagram taking selfie after selfie like you won the lottery. You ain't even manifested anything. And you're fooling yourself, living in delusion. It's called illusions of grandeur. Illusions of grandeur. You got people on Instagram deceiving themselves, thinking I made it. You got nothing to smile about. You're in a global pandemic. You better wake up. Is anybody in there? Anybody home? But like I told you, that's all part of the joke. Life is a meme. Because people are so disconnected, the house could be on fire. They'll still be taking selfies, thinking everything is all good. The house is on fire. People are still smiling and taking selfies on Instagram. Right? This is why they always tell you that ignorance is bliss for the masses. However, For the advanced souls, they know ignorance is slavery. In the book 1984, Orwell said, we're going to reverse everything. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. And that's the whole plan of the inorganic ones, to turn everything the other way. So, to all you people on Instagram, I got love for you. But please, don't fool yourself if you ain't doing the work. You want to make sure you can balance it out. Share something that can help someone today, even on YouTube. If you're on YouTube or even on your own website, I'm not making videos of just what I'm wearing all the time. I'm wearing some fly-ass shit, deep divers, if I may say so. But I'm not saying, hey, I got this from this shop and that shop. It's not important. What's important is getting free, because they're creating a prison right now, and you better wake up and smell the coffee. A lot of people still dancing on TikTok like, yeah, I made it. And this is why it's all part of the joke. And this is why a lot of people are being played like fools. You know, a lot of people don't even realize the joke is on you. It's not on the inorganic ones. It's on you. What did Mark Twain say? It's easier to fool people than to convince people they have been. It's easier to fool people than to convince people they have been fooled.
Party time drones activated.
And
Celebration maneuver alpha initiated.
And this is part of the joke. Like I told you, you better wake up that this is a comedy show. You don't want to make the joke on you. You don't want the joke to be on you. You know, because like I told you, if you were to fast forward 300 years, just 100 years from now, when people look back, they'll think everyone was happy on Instagram, turning up, people talking about everything except what's happening. It's called the elephant in the room. It's getting real. Prepare yourself mentally for what's happening. Now, shout out to all the people who have been sharing something. We're supposed to be working like a tag team. So if people have been dropping knowledge, they can chill. Now it's your turn. It's your turn. But for those who haven't been doing any work, and you're just taking selfie after selfie, and you're just talking about everything under the sun except what's actually happening, you got a lot of work to do. Because you are also part of the problem. You are also part of the problem. And it's time to realize that you have to make sure you can balance it out.
Credits received.
I take selfies just to show people. I don't even have to even drop knowledge on Instagram. I already done enough knowledge on YouTube. That's the balance. And that's what you got to create. But you can't be someone who's just so self-absorbed, because it's going to come back around. Your children are going to be living in an Orwellian nightmare. So a lot of people are now realizing we can't fool ourselves any longer. It's just like the person in the club who's dancing but has to go to work tomorrow. They got to wake up. They're still dancing away. That's a fool's game. And that's how it is. Like, you're still partying. You don't even realize you're in a global pandemic. You better wake up. And right now, it's really time for people to realize that every single day you want to ask yourself, am I part of the problem or part of the solution? We live in a world so fake, Barbie would be jealous. And a lot of people go along with the illusion. Why? Because it's easy. It's easy to be a bot. All you got to do is nothing. You don't have to do anything. But when you want to rise up the levels, you got to do the self-work. You got to say, hey, I got to start changing my life. I told you. I could have chosen the other path, deep divers. I had many offers. I could have been an entertainer who just dumbs down people. But I said, hey, I want to help people. And we're playing on the hardest levels right now. We're playing on the hardest levels, people who are awakening people, because we're also dealing with algorithms which are designed to purposefully hide the truth. If you are here, we got 3,000 people. I want all of you 3,000 people to smash the like button. Because when you smash the like button, the video gets shared in the algorithms. That's the cheat code. So make sure you smash the like button right now. One thing I want to talk to you about, deep divers, is a lot of people sometimes say, Ralph, I'm scared. And I always want to tell you, my entire journey has been one without fear, yet I'm always protected. Because this is what happens when you align with your righteous purpose. You're always protected. So remind yourself, if you are doing what you are here to do on the planet, you will always be taken care of. And you will always be protected. Mecca Ann, you are appreciated, star. Shout out to you. Such an amazing live. Gratitude, Ralph. One love all. Hey, Mecca Ann, shout out to you. Did you ask for the music last time? Did you ask for the music or the Infinite Waters modeling? You got to let me know. Shout out to Mecca Ann, you are appreciated. So, I always want to tell you this. When I first started making videos on YouTube, I was a bit scared just to use my voice and like, oh my gosh. But then I started to let go of fear. And people say, Ralph, how is this possible? That you're still making videos after all these years. Juice WRLD, we ain't gonna make it past 21. You had the 27 club. You had the 27 club, like all of these celebrities, right? Not making it past 27 years old. A lot of celebrities passed away at 27. But they said the 27 club. Now, Juice WRLD, shout out to Juice WRLD, freestyled for an hour on the Tim Westwood show, Genius. He said, what's the 27 club? We ain't making it past 21. Now, Juice WRLD passed away before 21. A lot of these new celebrities passing away, they're not even getting to 21.
Thank you for your monetary support.
They're not even getting to 21. That's the new club. And it's like I always tell people, you want to make sure that you can evolve. You see, you want to be around so you can evolve and grow, because I've evolved and grown so much, but it was only because I was on the right path. I know what it's like. A lot of people right now are given a lot of temptations. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of these celebrities watch my videos. And I always say, I don't judge these celebrities, because when you are in that world, you are in that world and you can't see out of it. You can only get out of it when you let go of that world. And you can't serve two masters. That's rule number one. You cannot serve two masters. And that's why a lot of celebrities, they're kind of woke. They're trying to wake up, but they still got one foot in the belly of the beast. You can't serve two masters. You got to choose. I had to choose. You're either in there or you're over here. I can't say, hey, I wanna be in the system, then out of the system. I can't say, hey, I want to be an entertainer, dumbing down the population, and then be doing Infinite Waters. I gotta choose which side I'm on, and that's why I'm always protected, because I'm always doing what I'm here to do. So always remind yourself to do what you are here to do. Don't waste time around this place. Shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers. Make sure you smash the like button and share this link. We got so many beautiful deep divers here. Myra, shout out to you. Hey, second question regarding them knocking on the doors. What do you suggest? Also, why do some get shout outs and some don't? Am I here now? Myra, I'm giving you a shout out, right? I'm giving you a shout out. Shout out to you. You are appreciated. I'm giving shout outs to everyone who's here.
Thank you for your monetary support.
To everyone who's here. Like I said, that's what it's about. Now, let me answer your question. So I actually came across that story that the US government are knocking on people's doors. Well, that, Biden said that. So that's in the news right now. Like I say, every single day you have to make sure you can clearly see what's happening and you can clearly stand in your power. Don't allow someone to make you do what your heart does not agree with. Never allow someone to force you to do something you don't want to do. A red flag moment is when someone tries to force you to do something you don't want to do. That's always a red flag moment. Nathaniel Sanders, shout out to you. Thanks and gratitude to all benevolent beings like you, Ralph, for helping us to raise our polarities. Blessings, peace, and love to you and yours. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. Now, I want to give you some encouragement, deep divers, that I spoke about how the new wars won't be fought physically, they'll be fought digitally. And right now, a hacker is more dangerous than a president, because that's the new wars that are on the horizon, is cyber wars, cyber hacking. And this is what you're going to see a lot. And that's why I told you, prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. In case they shut down the internet, you want to make sure you are good without the internet. You want to make sure you have a life offline, not just a life online. You want to make sure you have a life off Facebook, not just in Facebook. You want to make sure you have a life off Instagram, not just in Instagram.
Animals or real fire this time.
Tony Adams, you are appreciated. KG, you are appreciated. You want to make sure you have a life off YouTube, not just on YouTube. And that's what I've been always reminding myself, like, hey, make sure you can live outside of this world, because the real world is the world within yourself. And a lot of people don't realize our ancestors were more free without even a phone. And that's why I always say, turn your phone off when you go to bed. A lot of people sleep with their phone on airplane mode. A lot of people sleep with their phone on. And you don't realize that by you doing this, you are now becoming machine. You got to take a break from your phone sometimes. I mean, turn the damn thing off, because your smartphone is spying on you. It's also stealing your energy. So every single day, I'm making sure I turn my phone off. And if I don't reply to your message, please forgive me. Please forgive me. But it's just that you have to realize what this is all about is something called transhumanism and human 2.0, where a lot of these elites, they want to live forever. They want to achieve immortality. And one way they've figured out how to do it is to really merge man with machine. And this is why you have to remind yourself that you're going to be tempted. Big temptations are going to come your way. That's why I told you, prepare yourself mentally for what's coming, because a lot of people are going to sign up. A whole lot of people are going to sign up for the AI. A whole lot of people are going to sign up for it. And the more they sign up for it, the more the AI will take over.
Credits received. Thank you for your monetary support.
The world is changing in finances by private chain. Shout out to you. If you remind yourself, deep divers, not too long ago, if you would have told someone everything that's happening on the planet, they might have called you a conspiracy theorist, maybe very crazy. Well, it's already happening right now, so what do we call them? You see, when you realize those tinfoil hat wearers, they were right. Those people who I'm sure you've met, other chosen ones telling you that good message, they were right. That there is a force on the planet that is artificial. I've seen it. I've seen them. Let me just say them, the inorganic ones. I've seen them. And they've always been here. They haven't just come. I mean, the Gnostics called them the Archons. Right? Other texts, they call them the Anunnaki. They've always been here. They've always been here. And they've always manipulated the 3D. Because they can only exist through your fear and through your submission. The Gnostics called them the Archons, and the only way to get over this archonic force was to remain human, remain in the love frequency, was to not drink the Kool-Aid, was to not give in to fear. Fear blocks manifestation. Love activates manifestation. Why don't you think they show you more loving news stories? Because if everyone is to always have good news, that means the whole world is going to create a better world. They don't want that. They know that what you focus on is what you're going to help create. So be mindful. What they are showing you is what they want you to focus on, which is what will create the reality they want you to create. And therefore, every single day, you got to focus on love. You got to be in love. You got to raise the frequency. But also, you got to remind yourself, fear is the big trap. Fear is the greatest prison so many people live in. And they are hoping you are shaking in your boots. They're hoping you're scared. I told you, it was written. There's nothing to be afraid of. Everyone, before they came into this dimension, had a soul contract. From the moment you're born to the moment you'll leave here, it's all set in stone. All you can do right now is prepare yourself and work on yourself. But when you realize that it's already set in stone, that's why there's nothing to worry about, because you already have made an agreement with how long you're going to be on this planet to when you're going to exit and move on to the next incarnation. It's all set in stone. And when you know this, you realize there's nothing to be afraid of. Fear is the beast. Fear is the greatest energy vampire. And it's funny. What are they afraid of? The inorganic ones. There's one thing they're afraid of. It's the truth, right? The truth. They're afraid of the truth. The truth is their kryptonite. You ever seen Superman got the kryptonite? That's the truth. The truth will protect you. It is their kryptonite. You say the truth, they're like, get away from me. Because they're afraid of the truth. It exposes them. And that's why if you want a protection right now, you got to speak your truth, not my truth. You got to speak love. You got to be love, but more so, you got to speak your truth. You got to turn off the damn TV, which is now your iPhone from time to time. And you got to remind yourself that everything is backwards in the Matrix. Everything is backwards. Everything is the inversion. So everything they show you is not what's happening. And everything that is happening is not what they're showing you. Right? Everything that is happening is not what they're showing you. So this is why the film Get Out was telling you, you're in a sunken place. You better get out. Most of humanity lie in a sunken place. Not realizing being in this sunken place is a trap. Being in that sunken place, deep divers, is a great trap. And you have to make sure every single day you are getting out. That's what the whole film was telling you. You better get out because it's a trap. You know, the film, the guy being in the house was symbolic of being in lockdown. The guy's girlfriend's mother, who was hypnotizing him in the chair, saying, sit down, it was all a sign to say, get out. Because you're under deep hypnosis. And this is why I always tell you, there's always a lesson even in a Hollywood film that you can extract. Because they're telling you in the films what's actually happening. Oh, there's some funny dudes. There's some funny dudes, you know. Absolutely. There's some funny dudes. So, if you remind yourself, deep divers, that already the world has changed in the space of 16 months. It's already a whole new world. And that's why it's already real for a lot of people. A woman was saying that she hasn't been able to see her grandchildren for such a long time. We got to remind ourselves that you have to remind yourself every single day, if you are unhappy with what's happening, you can speak up about it. Also, you can also make sure your life is an entire protest. When people make their life an entire protest, that's how change happens. I told you, a lot of these mass protests, there was one in Hyde Park, London. A lot of these protests are even happening worldwide, but they're not showing them. But there was a big protest. One of the biggest ones in the world, in fact, it happened in London. And a lot of people were there. That's fantastic. But you see, if you want real change, you got to do that every day. Now we're talking. Not only that, you got to make your entire life a protest. Now we're talking. Because a revolution doesn't happen in one day. Happens every single day. By you changing your way of life. That's the biggest revolution. You got to change your entire life. You got to make your whole life a protest. Don't just protest for one day. A lot of people protest for one day. They go back straight to sleep. Because a lot of people are not ready for the long haul flight. And this is why I told you. This is why I told you. You have to make sure you make your protest an entire life. So every single day, it is a statement that you're making to the world. By the way you eat, the way you dress, the way you treat each other. It's not just happening one day. Because that day comes, it goes. But what are you doing today? That's the question. What are you doing right now? That's the question. And that's the only way great change can happen. You see, one thing I want to tell you, deep divers, is that there's a difference between gathering with a lot of people and saying I'm unhappy about something and actually saying, you know, I want to make a real change in my life. That's a whole nother effort to do. Now you gotta stand by yourself. You gotta stand alone and change. That's the real change. DC, shout out to you. That's the real change, right? That's the real change that happens when you really say, I'm going to change my entire way of life. It's a lot harder to do. Remind yourself, deep divers, you don't have to accept what's happening. Because the more you accept the bully, the more you will be bullied. Only when you stand up to the bully and say, actually, stop, then change happens. So don't just go to sleep thinking everything is going to be okay. No. You're going to get bullied again tomorrow and the day after that. The bully will never stop. I'm talking about censorship. All of these things will never stop until you say enough is enough. Because bullies love power. They're narcissists. They love power. They love control over other people. And you have to make sure you're not being bullied. And therefore, you have to choose not to be silent any longer. You have to say, right now, I know my silence is my consent. JC, you are appreciated. JS, you are appreciated. JS, you are appreciated. Thank you for continuing to spread your message, Ralph. You're helping so many raise their consciousness. You are appreciated. Well, that's what I'm here to do. That's why I'm using my voice. But at the same time, I want to remind you, you also have a voice. And you see, the old way was gurus. This is the old system. A lot of people say, Ralph, I thought you were a mentor. I thought you were a guru. I'm not a guru, deep divers. I'm your friend. What's up? Right? The power is not just in me, it's in you as well. You see, the old way was where people would worship a master or a guru. The new mindset is to realize you are the power. Just think of me like Morpheus helping you awaken like you're Neo. I'm just here to spark that flame inside of your brain to wake up so you can live your best life. Ultimately, all of us hold the same amount of power. It's just that some people are more aware and some people are less aware. But this is part of the gift of life. Everyone holds the same amount of power, but there are levels to it. It's just like in sports. You have pro athletes who are doing the extra training. They're reaching levels which an ordinary man or woman can't reach because there's levels to this shit. It doesn't mean they're better. It just means they are more advanced. And there are levels. There's basic, intermediate, advanced. So you got to remind yourself there are levels to consciousness. And that is key. Every single day, remind yourself that there's levels to this. Snake Goddess, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Sam Phim, you are appreciated. Hello, this is Leon's Kennedy and Hunk. Got my back. Watch Resident Evil. Don't take microchip. You are appreciated. Shout out to you. So I want to remind you why they burnt witches on the stake. In Europe, in medieval Europe, a lot of women were burnt on the stake, witches. This is all documented. They were burnt on the stake for a reason. Because they were dangerous. Why were they dangerous? Why were these women burnt on the stake? Because these were women who didn't want to be under a patriarchal rule. They knew their power in the divine feminine, and they were seen as a witch. Because people couldn't control them. That control structure couldn't control these women. These women didn't just want to be docile and silent. They were saying, hey, now those witches are still here. Because I told you, no one ever really dies. So shout out to all the witches in the house. Right? So that energy is still here. And it's even more powerful than ever. It's even more powerful than ever. Die Hard with a Vengeance. It's back. And this is why there's such a huge awakening happening. Because a lot of people are coming back for the grand finale, the big show. And they are here to help with the ascension of planet Earth and raise the frequency. Scott, shout out to you. Always mask free for me out here in Canada. Every day is a protest. Manifested a motorcycle today. You can manifest anything you truly desire. Gratitude. Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. You can manifest anything you desire, deep divers. Now, one thing I want to tell you, as a psychologist that I am, one of the ways people manipulate other people, even in relationships, friendships, corporations do it to people, is by what we call gaslighting. And gaslighting is when you make someone doubt their own sanity. It's a form of manipulation. And it's a way to silence people. You see, anyone that gaslights you in a relationship or friendship or even a corporation, it's because they are trying to manipulate you. And you have to watch out for more gaslighting. So It's getting real.
Another
Because
year of support. You've been granted another complimentary celebration credit.
love over fear,
Please no
baby.
live
Love over
animals
fear.
or
Shout
real
out to you.
fire
You
this
are
time.
appreciated.
Thank you.
It's love over fear all day, every day. Rainbow time. Pele, you are appreciated. Much love and light, Ralph. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. So, Michael Gibson, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Gratitude. Gratitude. If you are here, make sure you smash the like button, deep divers. We got 3,000 people here. We got a whole lot to talk about. Smash the like button. So, when you realize that it is time up, time is running out for the inorganic ones, simply because they made a lot of mistakes. You see, a lot of you think that this is just some kind of grand plan that's going to work flawlessly. No, there are always variables, and it is dependent upon how many people are waking up and how things are moving. And this is why they got to backtrack. They got to skip and dance and looking a little bit shaky, baby, because what they didn't expect was the amount of pushback they received. They thought everyone would just go along with it. And what's happened is that people are now starting to wake up from the deep sleep and say, what on earth is happening here? This is ridiculous. And they're not ready for this. And this is why you're seeing Freedom Day in the UK, all over the world. People are lifting restrictions and all of these things because people are now starting to say, even the masses aren't having it. You see, at first it was just a few. Now it's millions of people. You see, that's also a great tool of the internet. Even through all through the censorship, information is still traveling at a supersonic speed. People are watching new videos, opening their eyes to what's really happening. And it's only growing more every single day. What you must remind yourself, deep divers, is that never say yes to something you haven't read the terms and agreements of. Let me repeat that. Never say yes to something you haven't read the terms and agreements for. Never say yes to something you haven't read the terms and agreements for. Never sign something that you don't know what the hell you're signing for. Always read the fine print, and please check the ingredients. When you go to the supermarket, I'm sure sometimes you buy food and you check the ingredients. Like, what is in this? Well, that's the same question you should be asking right now. What is in that, right? And this is how you free yourself. Ask questions. Children are always asking questions. Hey, what is this? What is that? This is how you grow to become a sentient being. And this is why all children are wiser than you know. We actually dumb children down because we say, hey, just accept, never ask questions. No, you want to be asking questions. A child will ask you 50 questions. What is this? Why is that happening? Who is he? Who is she? Because this is how you evolve, through asking questions. Question everything about what you've been told. Only a fool never asks questions. A wise man and a wise woman ask 1,000 questions. A fool asks no questions. They just nod their head like, yeah. So One of the ways out of this is to not just be a head nodder. Don't just be a yes man or a yes woman. Ask questions. Because the more questions you ask, eventually you're going to stumble across a great truth to what's really going on. There are no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. Anybody that tells you asking questions is wrong is a psychopath, a manipulator, a great deceiver. They don't want you to ask questions because the more questions you ask, you're going to start to make them look a little bit shaky, baby. And that's why politicians never answer a straight question. They just say, because they know that a question demands an answer. And once they answer one question, it will lead to another question. That will lead to another question, which will eventually reveal the truth. And that's why politicians never answer questions directly, because questions are extremely dangerous. Why is this happening? What is that? Who is this? This is how you free yourself. Ask more questions, grow a pair of balls, and surround yourself with a cat down the road. But, remind yourself, because someone told me, I really want to enjoy my life, Ralph. And I haven't been able to travel. I haven't been able to do things. And I said, that's why you have to stand up for your freedoms, because valuable time of your life is being taken away. You are appreciated. Shout out to you. Valuable life experiences. You see, I'm fortunate enough to have, traveled to over 30 countries. All over Africa, all over Europe, all over South America, North America. Been all around the world, deep divers. But if you are a child in today's day and age, you are missing out on these basic life experiences like traveling to another country without going through rings of fire just to get to that country, check after check. And we got to remind ourselves that children shouldn't have to go through this amount of stress. I told you. There are already anxiety disorders from everything that's happening right now. And we got to remind ourselves that nobody deserves to have their mental health ruined over this. Shout out to everyone who's here. Ayanifa, you are appreciated. One love to you. Shout out to you. You are appreciated. Shout out to everyone who's here. So many beautiful deep divers. Make sure you smash the like button, deep divers, to get this out into the algorithms. And you want to keep speaking. That's how you stop someone from bullying you. If all of you people who are just silent thinking that your silence is going to save you, I got news for you. For you, it's going to be the worst. For the people who are silent, it's going to be terrible. Because one day you're going to realize that you are so afraid of everything and you're living your entire life in a box and you have lost your entire voice. You got to learn how to get it back. So remind yourself, your voice is a great weapon. Your critical thinking is an excellent weapon. Your imagination is a wonderful weapon. Your freedom is your birthright. And if you allow someone to take that away from you, you aren't free anymore. You are their slave. Slavery didn't end. It just got a new face. And many people are modern day slaves. And the only way out is in. That is the only way out, deep divers, is in. The only way out is to make sure every single day you are spending more time in your world than in their world. People say, Ralph, you watch the news. Listen closely, deep divers. I don't watch the news. Well, I do, actually. I watch the news to see what they're not saying. Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. I said I watch the news to see what they're not saying. Let me say it one more time. I watch the news to see what they're not saying. And that's why this can also be fun for you. When you can see through the whole matrix, you can laugh and watch the news to see the illusion for what it is. It's entertaining. Right? So every single day, remind yourself to free yourself. Remind yourself, Midnight Hunter, where you are appreciated. Remind yourself to free yourself every single day. And I want to tell you this. One of the ways the inorganic ones have created the inversion is that you have all kind of violent things on the internet. People playing violent video games, modern warfare, people, all kind of violence, Call of Duty, all kind of violence. But they allow this stuff. But they're afraid of the truth. So this just shows you that one truth is more powerful than 1,000 lies. And this is why the hope we arrive to is that you never need a lot of people to change the world. All you need is a group of people holding the same intention. They know this. All you need is people coming together, doing a global meditation. The whole thing will get changed in a few seconds. This is why concerts were dangerous. When you have thousands of people chanting the same thing, freedom, freedom, it sends ripples into the cosmos. It's called morphogenetic resonance. Morphogenetic resonance. Also the butterfly effect. When a butterfly flies, a tsunami happens somewhere. Don't do that, nature, right now. The butterfly effect. Like, what you say sends ripples through the universe. If enough people think the same thoughts, it also creates a new reality. So you have to be mindful of how you use your mind. Don't focus on the doom and gloom they're showing you. Focus on love, raise the frequency, and you will free yourself. Deep divers, you are all appreciated. Make sure you smash this like button. And everyone here, make sure you add me on Instagram, Ralph Smart, just to stay in tune. Because once again, we got to use this technology to use it as a tool to help other people awaken. And now we can also find the empowerment through it. I want to remind you, for that news, the US government knocking on people's doors, stand in your power, stay free, let love guide you, not fear. Deep divers, have you enjoyed this live or have you enjoyed this live? I'm enjoying it so much, deep dive. We can keep it going. We can keep it going, deep divers. We can keep it going. One love to everyone who's here. Phenomenal show. It's about to get real. Make sure, deep divers, you prepare yourself mentally for what's coming. The inorganic ones are not going to stop. They don't know how to stop their wickedness. The reason being is because they're only doing what they were designed to do. In the universe, you have polarity. The Tao is made up of the yin and the yang for a reason. So you need the inorganic ones. They've always been here to create havoc. They're going to do their job. All you have to do is do yours, and that's the balance in the universe. They have their artificial world. You have the real world. You win when you live in the real world. You lose when you take a back seat in their artificial world. Put yourself on the main stage again, deep divers. One love to everyone here. Let's rock out. You are appreciated. Oh, we had fun, deep divers. I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. So many beautiful deep divers here, deep divers. Woo! We had fun. Did you have fun or did you have fun, deep divers? One love to everyone. Remind yourself, deep divers, you've got this, we've got this. We are the power, we are the future. It's a choice. Code Zalo, you are appreciated. Blessings to you.
Thank you for your monetary support.
I know you like the guitar, deep divers. To manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want to be. It's a choice. Free. It's a choice, deep divers.
Party time drones activated. Celebration maneuver alpha initiated.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Beautiful deep divers. I want to thank everyone who's been here. And I just had to do this live because powerful live stream, powerful show. And that's only because there are so many amazing deep divers here. So many amazing deep divers here. Deep divers, stay empowered. Let love guide you, not fear. One love to all of you. Keep raising the frequency, deep divers. Upload the music, please, right? I got a lot of music for you, deep divers. I'll do that. I'll do that. You know, I'll put out a lot of music for you. I'll be back, deep divers, tomorrow. You love the guitar. I'll be back, deep divers, for another show. Be here. One love to everyone. I love all of you. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here. You are appreciated. May your day be beautiful. May you let love guide you, not fear. Remind yourself, we are all we have. Support people who are doing it. Support people who are putting themselves out there, helping humanity. Because if you don't, there'll be no one left. We are all we have. The good news is that millions of people are awakening, finding their power every single day. I told you. If it seems like the villains are winning, that's because the story is not over yet. One love to all of you. Love all of you. One love. Let's go. Smash the like button, deep divers, and make sure you share this link. Also, let me just say, to raise the frequency, you know,
monetary support.
I did the whole video on anger. Go and check out that video I made on anger. And the video on anger is really reminding yourself it's not about attacking what you hate. It is not about attacking what you hate right now. It's about promoting what you love. It's not about attacking what you hate. It's about promoting what you love. A peaceful mind is more powerful than a reactive mind. Let me repeat that. A peaceful mind is more powerful than a reactive mind. You don't have to fight the system. All you have to do is disconnect from the system and be a co-creator of your own reality. When you are a co-creator of your own reality, you create worlds and everything changes for the best. Leader Prank, you are appreciated. One love to everyone who's been here. And hey, Cake Smith, I'm happy you enjoyed the show. First visit was invited. You absolutely invited. This was phenomenal. It confirmed so much in my mind already. Wonderful. Well, go and watch this back. And once again, stand up for your freedoms of speech. Do not allow these tech corporations to silence the truth, because the truth is all we have, and we have to protect it. One love to everyone, deep divers. I will see you tomorrow. Be here for another show and another video. Love all of you. To everyone who's been here, one love to all of you. We are out. One love to all of you deep divers. Let love guide you, not fear. One love to all of you.